Hello everybody and welcome to my channel. If you're just passing through, I'm just going to tell you that my name is Brian, as my intro says, and I like to talk about my passions, the things that interest me, and that revolves around my love of the Beatles, my obsession with the Beatles, my obsession with music and classic albums and all things music, my passion and love of film and movies, and my passion and love for physical media. Sometimes I put videos up, sometimes I lag, but I never know what I'm going to do, just like you'll never know what I'm going to do. So if you want to hear somebody ramble incoherently at times about what they love, please click subscribe and hit that bell notification, and we'll be surprised together at what I talk about. And I was inspired to do this one. I subscribe to a channel called Films at Home, and I love his reviews. And I haven't done a review of a new 4K disc in a while, and I figured I would do it on Top Gun, which just came out on 4K UHD. And I have to tell you, I've seen the film several times. I remember when it came out in summer of 1986. I was 13, but I never owned it. I never owned it on VHS. I never owned it on Laserdisc. I never owned it on DVD. And I never owned the many Blu Ray editions of this film, which I think there is a total of 3 Blu Rays out there. This is my first time owning it on home video. Now, I can't A-B it from the original Blu Ray to this new 4K UHD Blu Ray, the new 4K transfer. I can't A-B it because I don't own the other Blu Ray. So I encourage people to check Films at Home out. He describes the way the Blu Ray looked. But I will tell you, I decided to break down and get this one because this has been getting rave reviews everywhere. And also because when I told my wife that I did not own Top Gun, she said, "What?" I figured I would get this, and right off the bat, the film is a lot of fun. Just as a film itself, certain things are cheesy still. I mean, it's, as I said in a Facebook post, that Tom Cruise had a format to his movies back then, with the exception of Rain Man and Born on the 4th of July. But all of them, the young hotshot who gets set in his ways by an older mentor. It's there in Scorsese's The Color of Money, although there's a twist on that one in the end. It's there in Cocktail, which I like to forget about. And it's there in Days of Thunder. And of course it's here in this film. The love story's cheesy, some of the dialogue is cheesy, but at the same time, I put it on and I had a lot of fun. And the flight scenes, the action scenes, are some of the best you'll ever see. So if you know this film already, I'm not going to go into details on the plot and all that, but how does this look? Well, the movie was shot on film using Panavision cameras and lenses. It was shot in a widescreen format called Super 35. If you want to know the technical ins and outs of Super 35, go ahead and look it up. There's information out there. But it was a widescreen process designed to get a widescreen image without using anamorphic cameras and lenses. A lot of big budget films started using it. Top Gun was a big budget film that utilized the Super 35 process. So because of that, there should be grain. And there is grain. It's not overly grainy, which is good. But with the Dolby Vision HDR, this thing looks incredible. Skin tones are accurate. The flight sequences are just, they look phenomenal. I'm not seeing any crushed blacks. I'm seeing natural looking blacks. Sometimes HDR can be overdone. I think in this film, they did it the right way. I watched it in Dolby Vision. So this is Dolby Vision compatible. So if you have a television that is Dolby Vision and a 4K UHD Blu Ray player that is Dolby Vision, it's a real treat. And the sound, the Dolby Atmos sound, even if you don't have an Atmos system, you're going to get a nice immersive soundtrack. The flying scenes in particular, a lot of things happening, flying overhead. Your subwoofer is going to be working overtime. Everything is a treat in this thing. It's almost the next best thing to seeing this again in the movie theaters. Back in the day, this had a 70mm blow-up too. But the next best thing to seeing it, Top Gun, if you've seen this film, I highly recommend this new 4K UHD disc. And another good thing about this that I will say, if you haven't made the move to 4K UHD, the new Blu Ray in here, the new standard high definition Blu Ray that's in here, is the new 4K transfer with the Dolby Atmos sound. So bravo to Paramount for doing that. That's a major gripe with me in this new 4K revolution. Sometimes if they do an upgrade of a transfer, the studio will package the old transfer on Blu-ray in with the new 4K disc instead of just putting the new 4K transfer on a new Blu-ray. One of my many gripes, and I'll get to that in a later video, what the pros and cons are for me about 4K UHD and upgrading and not upgrading. So the good thing is, if you don't have a 4K UHD Blu-ray player, the new standard high definition Blu-ray that's in this package is the new 4K transfer down-res to 1080p. So it's going to be very good, and it's got the Dolby Atmos sound. So if you're a fan of this film, please pick it up. Highly recommend it. This is, to me, the first in a long line of what I see are upcoming excellent releases so far. Jaws is coming out next week, and I can't wait for that. And while music is being postponed during this pandemic, a lot of bands are postponing their albums. The Dixie Chicks did theirs, which I'm bummed out about that. A lot of classic films are making the move to 4K UHD disc. And even if they're not on Blu-ray, even if they never were released, Paramount's got a series where they're issuing stuff on Blu-ray that never came out on Blu-ray. Criterion's got some great releases coming up. So overall, on the home video front, got some excellent releases coming up. So it's an exciting time if you're a movie fanatic to be a collector. Kind of a depressing time if you're a Beatle maniac right now, because we don't know the details of what's going on with Let It Be. Obviously, it's been pushed back. But there you go. That's my take. Thank you for sticking with me. Thank you for sticking around. And I'll talk to you soon.